Hey everyone, my name is Strafe, or Scrosec. I am GM and Ray Leader of Tyranny on Bleeding Hollow. And this is a guide video for our strat for Mythic Azshara. There's a few different guide videos up, but I feel that after having recently killed and looked over pretty much everything we could find, that the way that Tyranny does it is unique and different, and we think has some very nuanced things that'll help you get through this fight. And we like to share it because the more kills that kill these end tier fights, the better it is. And yeah, so our strat is quite different than the strats you've previously seen, which is probably why this video is worth watching opposed to other ones. We lust in phase 3. We have the raid go to a fixed side in phase 3. We always do Venomtounge, then Serena, then Venna, in that order. We don't play the RNG game with Divide and Conquer, and we handle ward energy a bit differently in phase 4 than some other guilds. We did all this because we wanted to, like we did all tier, make it a strat that was reliable to beat it. That got us a lot of phase 4 exposure, and we took a look at kind of what the challenges would be in phase 4. Would it be an Argus, which is like a frantic burn that you had to like race across the finish line? It turned out not to be. So we made a decision that having the raid see as many phase 4s as possible would be better than just trying to learn 2 strats for phase 3, have a lower DPS and a longer pull with more complexity because of where we stood, and then just try and YOLO it. So I'm going to walk you through this strat. In addition to that, I'm going to highlight a lot of details across the fight in general, which is applicable to our strat, but probably is applicable to many strats. Yeah, so just let me know if you have any questions. My B tags in the comment. I will say as well that this video is assuming a working knowledge of this fight. So if you need like a introduction to Mythic Azshara video, this is not the video for you. You want to go find one of the other ones that's like, oh well, she puts out 3 arcane bursts. I'm gonna tell you a lot about how to handle stuff, and yeah. So the sources that we worked off of were a Chinese guild named Fortune, Unity, a U.S. guild, Brazilian I believe, Humble, which is a U.S. guild, and several European guilds and several more Taiwanese and Korean guilds. The strat we do, probably a small minority of guilds do, and we've done some refinement of it. So hopefully this helps push you across the finish line. Okay. So let's see. So the first thing I want to show you is this. Sorry, I have to pull up the picture, just to kind of get you introduced to the kind of placement. So I have to pull a tab over. Pardon me. So this is the video. This is a picture I made for our phase 3 strat. Just so you know, we'll get to it, but pretty much you'll see the raid goes to Venomtounge. So the melee, the range healers start here. Divide and Conquer comes up on either direction. We're fine. We kill Venomtounge, then Serena. We lust, and then when the beam comes up, the immune melee run across. The non-immune melee leave early. We beat up Serena. We do the Serena shit, and then we go to Venna's ward at the end. So I'll show you this picture again when we get closer to it. Okay. So here we go. This is from the start of the fight. This video is from Validiri's point of view. He's our MM hunter. He's a much better hunter than I am. Much better. So yeah. So check it out. Here you go. Again, I'm going to go over things which are kind of applicable to all strats in this as well. So, okay, so this is phase 1. This is not a DPS race. Now, you may have, if you watch some older limit stuff or some stuff from August, it may seem like, it's really hard to kill the Hulks and whatnot. It's not. We stopped DPS here so early. Actually, sometimes we DPS too quickly and wiped it out because we got caught out of position. So here's the first Hulk. So let me say something about the Hulks, okay? So you may at this point have heard that people like did a lot of crazy shit on the Hulks back in the day, like using Mechagon trinkets for a bunch of cooldowns on it. You kind of can do that, but you really don't have to anymore. With Nex at like 67, people just pop in like a couple cooldowns in each of them. They die. They're not a bad thing at all. The way you stun them, the definitive way to do it, is you have a hunter drop binding shot under it as it's spawning, and then when it moves out, it triggers the binding shot, and when the binding shot's about to fall off, have a rogue kidney shot it, okay? There's no better way to do it, all right? So just do it like that, okay? There's 2 in this phase. Divide and conquer. So that's me over there, okay? Now, I'm on this side of the beam because Divide and conquer can come up, and in a few seconds, I'm going to have to soak the arcane orbs. So I want to get caught on the proper side of it. We also have a warlock portal here because the warlock port's the other side to do that job of it. So, here, watch it. Okay, here comes the Hulk. Spear. Okay, spear goes through. Okay, that dies. Beckon. So for Beckon, since we had 3 warlocks, we had a gateway here and a gateway, pretty much a gateway in 3 directions. They just get to the edge. They use the gateway to get out if they have to, or the gateway back out when they get close. Pretty easy. If you happen to get frozen in this phase, it's not a big deal. There's plenty of time to get broken out, okay? No need to bop a person or anything like that. You just bust them out. Okay, so here's the soaking, all right? And you keep it uninterrupted. Okay, adds move together. Okay, so after the soaking, you have the first team of range soak the ward. All ward stacks in phase 1 fall off by the time phase 2 rolls around, so they really don't matter. We used 1 healer and 4 DPS to do it. Just get like 4 to 6 stacks, whatever you want. This is really not a big deal. So soak after the first arcane orb. Dodge lightning shit. Meme a little. I mean, we can murder these things, but there's no point to, okay? Like, none at all. Chain lightning. Okay, pretty soon is the next Beckon and the Hulk. So this is Hulk 2, okay? So this Hulk, we just did the same stun rotation. We popped again. Okay, there we did it. A couple people use their trinkets, but it wasn't a big deal. Second divide and conquer. People on the proper side for that. If I got Beckon before that one, I told Vlad to trap. The hunter who's doing the binding shot there can't do. If he gets Beckon, he can't do it as well. Okay, so we stop DPS. We call stop DPS at about 5 million health, which typically slides down about 2 million. Just get them low. We're waiting for the arcane orbs to soak. Dodgy shit. Okay, we're just stopping damage. We're soaking. Okay. Now we call resume DPS when the arcane orb is about half done, and we say go, and we kill both Tyrannus and Athanol at the same time, and we group up at this group up point. Now, this group up point, so we're starting the first intermission. This used to be blue light, and if you see videos, a lot of them put blue light here. We moved blue light to the side for phase 3 purposes, just to like make our lives easier there. But if you see other videos, you look at the light assignments. Like this was a blue light until like the past like 2 days. Okay, so it's a virtual blue light. It's just a group up spot. Okay. So this is first intermission. Use the weak aura pack. This is pretty simple. I will say healers roll cooldowns early, and then we pop personals late if we needed them. Typically we didn't. Really learning this wasn't that bad at all. I will say though that when you're instructing people, there's a couple tidbits to do. Make sure that people really understand the exact placement and the exact job of Moon and Skull. We had to drill it in a few times to kind of get it across. People got it. It wasn't bad or anything. You can see it doing a great job here. But like, a good diagram will really help for people understand what it's supposed to look like. You can even freeze frame this and kind of show it. Additionally, the people at orange here, after they were done soaking the bomb, they very typically moved over into the middle because it was the healer. They wanted LOS on healing and whatnot. They also want a quick start on DPS. You see kind of Waffle and I think it's Jader moving up. Okay. All right. So this is the start of phase 2. Okay. Now let me say something about phase 2. Okay. I'm gonna have to pull up a log again. Pardon me. If I have it here. So okay, so this is phase 2 damage, okay? So what we found, looking through this carefully, was that all the damage that Tyranny did from the ads to the end of the phase was the same as most other guilds killing it and progging it. I say this because when we started working on phase 2 a lot, we found that we couldn't hit the enrage timer, or not the enrage timer, the target time at the end, which is pushing it just after the second set of dispels or arcane burst. But the damage here was fine. The damage with the ads and after was fine. That was exactly what it needed to be. Beforehand though was off. Okay. So I'll say again here, a quick start in this phase at the start is crucial. You need to really pump from the get-go. You cannot have a slow start on the ads. You need to have people up there DPSing the moment it becomes attackable. Every second counts, okay? We also had people, let's see, let me show you here. We also had people pot in that phase. So you could see how many people potted in phase 2, okay? Most of the DPS. Depending upon like nerfs they do the fight in the future or comp and gear level, you might not need to do this. We did this to make phase 2 really reliable, okay? There is no DPS race in phase 3 or phase 4 if you do it our way, okay? So there's no penalty to doing this, okay? So don't be afraid of doing it, all right? So let's get back to the video. Okay, we started. We're DPSing. We're going up. Quick start. We're moving back. Now you're gaining stacks of the arcane debuff, okay? Vlad just got a stack right here. You do not need to clear it. In fact, you probably should not if you're doing if you want to maximize your DPS in this phase. Okay? Now a couple things. Soaking the wards here. So everybody has 0 stacks now, okay? Soaking the wards here. We typically do the melee and like a healer first, and then towards the end of the boss being in the tethered to the middle ward, we have like a mage do it so they can blink across the beam, or mages. The mages might have to soak here. They might have to soak the console ward. Just just play it by ear. Just tell that guy to be flexible. It really doesn't matter. But because you want to DPS as much as you can, let me settle a debate here. You should not be telling your raid to drop stacks, okay? People who can do it opportunistically, like a BM hunter, fine, but melee shouldn't be running out and shit like that. For example, what I did, since I'm a BM hunter, if the boss is right here, centered with respect to the box, the tanks moved her down, then around, then kind of made like a question mark, and then right here. If a person just runs and touches the side of the box, okay, the console, they're out of line of sight with Azshara, okay. So that's a quick way to drop a stack. Watch this arcane vulnerability weak aura. You can get this one on Wago. It's part 1 of the packs. That's the smart play, okay. So here you go. Okay, so beckons. Another thing we found. So the first beckon here, DPS, at least your DPS, maybe both of them. We ran 2 paladins. A common way to get through the uncertainty end of the phase is to bop both people. We didn't do that because it wouldn't be up for phase 4. I suggest not doing that. I suggest instead bopping these guys and having them be able to keep damaging and not run back or anything. Okay, that'll get you a more consistent push. All right, or DPSing or DPSing. Okay, here come the devoted. Now I'm gonna show you something about the devoted. Okay, I'm gonna bring up a log. This is the damage that we did to the devoted on the kill. Okay. We had a Repel, Jaderkun, use Wake of Ashes, and he fucking obliterated them. Okay. We had our Warlocks use Cataclysm and their Infernal on them. They all did the exact same thing. We had our Demon Hunters do Fel Barrage, and I ran Focus Azurite Beam. We had a Priest with Shivers. And there's some miscellaneous stuff in here, okay? There's a lot of ways you can do this, okay? If you look at logs of guilds doing this, sometimes you see rep helms backpacking. Sometimes you see Frost DK's backpacking with Sindragosa. Sometimes you see a lot of people running Focused Azurite Beam. It's okay, it's fine. But the most important thing you want is you want it to be inexpensive. By that it means you want to use something that gets these short duration adds out of the fight without it being something that that costs you overall damage in the fight or overall damage in the phase. So I ran Focus Azurite Beam because it's good for BM hunters on this fight, because it helped when we got some bad luck on something. It made killing ads really consistent, but Jader and the Warlocks and Demon Hunters did almost all the damage. Okay, make sure your guys are doing the same thing. Like this is not an accident. These are guys doing the same thing here. Okay, like that's it. And I flamethrower them, and that was that. Okay, but I strongly suggest that if you can leverage this on one person, a rep paladin or a DK, you do so. Okay. The other ways of having like a lot of people focus Azurite Beam, those work too, but I feel those are somewhat more expensive in the sense that there might be better Azurite traits to run than focus Azurite Beam for a lot of classes, and having it for just like this pack is a little bit overkill at this point. Okay. So yeah. Okay. In terms of a stun, all we did on the stun is we had our monk leg sweep, and if we absolutely needed it, they casted Ring of Peace, but there really wasn't any purpose of it. Oh yeah, also if there was any stragglers, one of our mages cast Dragon Breath. Okay, sorry, both our mages cast Dragon Breath to just kind of take them out. All right, you'll see how quick they die. This just takes a little bit of practice, but again, we had a lot of trouble with this until we started running a ret, and then it kind of turned it around because we started doing it efficiently. Look how quick they die. All right, that's not unusual. Okay, all right. So dispel. So I'm gonna say something about dispels here. Okay, you get 2 rounds of dispels in this phase. All right, this first set you want to wait for the stacks to drop. There can be some shitty RNG on this. If you get 3 DPS, you're going to be doing overall less damage in this phase. It kind of sucks, okay? If you get a healer, it makes it quite a bit easier, okay? So here, healer first. Get the spell. I was saying dispel 1, dispel 2, waiting for it. Dispel 3, waiting for it, and he got to it, okay? They're dropping their arcane stacks before they got dispelled. Make sure they do that. The Warlocks dispelled them via the Imps, and I assigned each Warlock to 1. So Hemp was 1, Troy was 2, Brahmas was 3 for us. Okay, and they just knew that. They just knew that. Okay, they're perfect at it. All right. Okay, here we go. Reversal of Fortune. So meanwhile, people are now charging up this one. Okay, we use Rila's Weak Warrior here. Okay, Vlad's fell off. He's going a little bit early, but it kind of doesn't matter. All right. Yeah, there, he's going now. Okay, we could get 5 or 6 stacks. Okay. One thing I want to say before the stacks. Okay, so stacks. Okay, you can do this with everybody getting 5, and you can do this with everybody getting 6, and some people getting like none. It doesn't really matter. Don't get too hung up on it. We said 6. Some people got 5. Some people got 6. In a real world setting, you're gonna have people get between 4 and 6. So I would just say 6, and that way you don't have people get 7. Honestly, and you kind of don't have people get 4, and you're good. All right, so LOS over. Okay, so for LOSing, we say go over the lip. There's a little lip here on the box. Generally speaking, I feel that going the other side of this box is overkill, but people do it. Okay, so what are we trying to do now? So to be clear, we wanted to have the boss at about 73% when that went off. Our next goal is to get the boss to about 70.5%, give or take 0.3%, before the arcane bursts go out. Now let me say something about this, because I feel like on competitive WoW, there's some competing data about this. Some people think that the way Azshara works is there's kind of a hidden stop in which if she passes 70.5%, she won't cast the next beckon in order to not like fuck the transition. It's kind of like a hidden pause feature. Other people think it's more of a function of DPS. I'm kind of in the latter camp because we have gotten it late. So our goal is pretty much get to 70.5 DPS, pause for a second, then go, and then transition her across. And if we were ever slow because we had just had bad luck or just a bad pull on DPS, we just kept going. And sometimes we had to do it. It wasn't perfectly consistent pull to pull, but that's why we potted, okay? We potted to make it as consistent as possible to not make it a reach. That's what I strongly suggest it. All right. Okay, so here we go. Dispels. Okay, so Dispel 1. Now, let me say something about these Dispels, okay? So when those go out, everybody who doesn't have the debuff gets to the stack up point. The Dispel people will go around immediately. The first person, in this case was Bird Priest, goes immediately to get dispelled, and we say Dispel 1, okay? They do not wait for their stacks to fall, okay? Do not fall in that trap. That person will have low stacks, but they have to pop a defensive, but they just eat that, okay? The other two people, in this case Waffle and Hemp, they wait along the side here for that to go off, okay? Now this is where what we do a little bit differently starts coming into play, okay? Everybody knows each other's number because they have this weak aura, so Waffle knows he's 2, Hemp knows he's 3, okay? Once Bird goes around, the next person, Waffle, goes to the Dispel position, which is on the other side of this box, okay? We have made that known. You Dispel when a person gets there, while Hemp, who's 3rd, stays behind, okay? They are now in line of sight of each other because it's at a right angle and at line of sight of the boss and us, okay? So they get mass dispelled, okay? Both their stacks are off, but that takes both dispels out at the same time. It's the only mass dispel we do in the entire fight, okay? But the purpose of it is to get those guys' debuffs off and get them stacked in the group super quick, and they really have to hustle in, okay? I recommend that over dispelling all 3 one at a time. We tried that. It made it a hairy moment. Mass dispelling made it just easier, made it more reliable, okay? It puts it in one person's hand, all right? All right, here we go. So this is second intermission. This one's a little bit tougher. One thing I want to say about these intermissions is there's probably some confusion about how you get stacks. Some people say, "Hey, I'm doing the right thing. Why am I getting stacks?" It's because if somebody else with the similar kind of debuff is doing the wrong thing, like soaking an arcane orb, you also can get stacks. Okay, it's not necessarily just on you. So trying to figure out what the first domino is on intermission wipes is tough, but don't read too much into it. Honestly, you just need to practice it. It's not hard. People aren't stupid. They'll figure it out. All right. So one thing I want to say about this intermission is it's really hairy to see the orb under Azshara here. Make sure the moon person knows that. All right. And is keeping an eye out for it. Additionally, you're going to have your melee DPS at box here really want to be DPSing Azshara. They need to be really careful not to get into the standalone circle radius, or not get in the standalone circle radius of the moon person. We had some difficulty with it. That person would sometimes get a lot of stacks because melee tried to sneak in and keep damage up. It is possible, and that person there just needs to know to like adjust to a position once you're done soaking the orb, obviously. But seriously, don't screw over the guy in there, okay? All right, so pretty easy stuff. We pop defenses at the end of this one. This is definitely harder than the first one, just because of just what's going on. People have a lot more stacks now as well. So, all right. So here comes our phase 3. Okay, so from the top, one more time. So Tyranny's phase 3 was harvested from a Chinese guild, and we looked around and we saw a bunch of Chinese guilds do this, and a couple European guilds, and we found 2 Western guilds that did it: Unity and Humble. Okay, I think Humble though killed it after we found it, so I think we didn't know they were doing it yet, if I remember correctly. So let's talk a bit about the strat and why we decided to do it. Okay, I hate RNG. I think all experienced raid leaders hate RNG. It's not a really controversial statement. Gambling is stupid in Warcraft, and gambling 6 minutes in is even stupider. Okay, I don't know about you, but I thought the prospect of getting to this phase 3, about 6 minutes in, and being like, well, we can have an easy way or a hard way, and we're gonna have to learn 2 separate strats. I thought that was dumb. I thought that was a recipe for really protracted prog, and it didn't need to be that way. I'm gonna explain why. So, a very common strat, at least when we started on this fight, to doing Azshara, let me hide this image here briefly, was to have once you got to the second ad, the second ward, have a bunch of your DPS leave early and most of your raid leave early to go to the third one and start handling that one at a certain point, and then have a remnant team of a couple of immuners, like some rogues and a BM hunter and maybe a paladin, a Healy paladin, or like a monk with transcendence, or a mystery monk. Stay behind at the second ward, break that shield again, and finish off the second ad, and then use their immunity or their teleport to get to the other side of the beam. Okay, little bit less common now because people can do more DPS and just beat the beam. But we've been watching, and people are still doing it that way. I think that's a really dumb way to do things. I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, so what our strat is this. Okay, we tell the raid to immediately ranging healers go to blue, which is, or this area, not blue. They go to the outside edge, right in front of where this divide and conquer is. This image is accurate. Okay, while melee goes to Venomtounge and gets on her. Okay. The melee that doesn't have immunities, i.e. anyone who blue theirs for whatever reason, or warriors, or we don't have a feral druid, or a feral druid, or enhancement shaman, if God help you, you're running one of those. They leave early, okay? They leave before Divide and Conquer goes up. They just help Venomtounge get started. And the rest of the ranged and the melee finish off Venomtounge, okay? Now, the Divide and Conquer can be this way, or it can be this way, all right? And if the Divide and Conquer is this way, they don't have to pop an immunity to run through when the Venomtounge's dead. But if it's the way it's shown in the image, they have to pop an immunity and just run through, okay? It's fewer immunities to have to do it than the other strat, and they're going to have them anyway. And it makes it so that you only have to learn one strat for this entire fight, okay? Or one phase 3 strat for the entire fight. You will do higher DPS because your raid knows where to go, can plant their feet. They don't have to. There's no deciding. Oh, we got to get to the other side. We got to move the boss around. None of that. None of that crap. Okay. We move into this phase. We get into position. Azshara becomes movable. She's immediately moved to the other side of the pillar. The Mermaid is picked up. It's immediately moved to the other side of the pillar, and we just start our DPS cycle on Venomtounge and Serena. Okay. Now Serena's first shield will go up almost immediately. Okay. The Mermaid will throw out the first spear. Okay. That spear, because it'll be on people only line of sight, will usually go on one of the 2 tanks or the healer with them. Rarely it'll go on another person who just kind of crept forward here. All they have to do is break the shield, okay? They just have to move it so that the spear goes through the shield. It's very easy. The ranged people here will never get targeted by it, that spear, unless the Myrmidon is moved slightly out of position and has line of sight on them. So long as the Myrmidon is kept out of line of sight, it's, and even then we were fine. People just were not stupid. They just got over there. Okay, so they just broke that. Now this is why this is good. You keep Serena interrupted. You keep the ward drained from you keep her ward from getting drained. You finish off Venomtounge. Venomtounge goes down, and people come across, and everybody groups up here at Serena. Now, sorry, right just before this, we also had Beckon. Okay, people just got to the back here and got pulled towards the edge, pulled towards the right here. And they clicked the gateway and got pulled back. Okay. But regardless, once that was done, once Venomtounge was dead, we all grouped up here for Serena. We DPS Serena and her ad. We did the dispels. We killed Serena. We killed the ad before her shield went back up again. Both the remaining spears went into the water, and that's it. Okay. Now to beat that shield, you have to do a lot of damage. Okay, that involves some cooldowns. We bloodlusted in this phase to make that reliable. Do you need to bloodlust in the phase? We did, because we saw guilds doing it, and there were pulls where the bloodlust made it possible, and there were pulls when we clearly didn't need to bloodlust because of who got chosen in beckons or RNG and cooldowns or whatever. I think if they nerf add health here by 5%, there won't be a need to bloodlust, but I think right now, I think bloodlusting is the play. There is no penalty to bloodlusting in this phase in the fight, okay? Effectively, okay? Let me explain what I mean by that, okay? This is going to get nuances, so if you're looking for a quick and easy strat, I'm sorry, this is not the video for you, so just bear with me, okay? I don't mean to badmouth a lot of guilds, but a lot of guilds just copy, and they don't think about why. And that's fine. It works for a lot of guilds. God knows better. Guilds have gotten better ranks than we have doing that. It works. But Azshara, people are treating in phase 4 like a burn, like it's Argus, or like it's Jaina, when it doesn't need to be. Okay. I'll explain what the detail is in phase 4, but the reason a lot of guilds do that is because they want to beat a pressure surge at the end of phase 4, and they're using the lust to push through the phase in order to avoid handling ward energy like properly and just kind of YOLOing it. Okay, that's not correct. It's not a good way to do it. You're gonna have a lot of low percentage wipes. We had a couple 8% wipes, 7% wipes because people died. We had 1.8 million health wipe, and then we killed it. Okay, the strat's really reliable. Our strat's really reliable because we built in predictability. By lusting in phase 3, you have to handle the wards properly in phase 4 rather than just saying fuck it and burn the boss. And keep the console ward full, and you have to deal with one more I-beam round and one more bait, but that's like nothing. Okay, you can kill those. Killify that goes to shit. Okay, we easily did it. You'll see at the end. So that should not be a consideration. Phase 4 is a control fight, not a burn phase. Okay, trust me on this. You'll see. Okay. So let's watch the phase now. Okay, so we get in the starting position. We're starting on Venomtounge. We lust. We are blasting. We had some people really just, like Jader and some other people, just ripped Venomtounge up here, okay? So the beam's coming up. You saw Sith, who's our warrior, jump through, okay? DPSing Venomtounge. Kablam. Beckon. The beckon people get back, okay? They get back to there, they won't get pulled towards the boss, okay? Break up Venom, okay? Alright, move up. Okay, on Serena. Serena's shield's been broken by that first spear that was on Gommel. You may have seen it, you might want to rewind if you didn't see it. Now we're just DPSing Serena and we're DPSing the Myrmidon, and the goal is to kill Serena before before her shield goes up again, which Lust enables us to do. But again, if you can do it without Lust, you might not want to. Okay, Dispel 2, Dispel 3. So for Dispels, just have the people run to this golden light here, or this, sorry, golden light, white light here, okay? Spears, just have the people make sure they're not in line of sight of the boss when she's doing her explosion, okay? Now, Greater Reversal goes out. When Greater Reversal goes out at this point, you want to move Azshara off of this ward onto the middle ward, okay? Finish off Serena. Cross the middle, okay. And now Ward Soak, okay? Keep damage up on Azshara. Now let me say a couple things about the fight structurally from this point forward, okay? So this point forward is a control fight, not a DPS burn, okay? One of the rationales behind doing the strat this way was this second half of the phase is more technically complex than the first part because it is control, and we wanted as much exposure to it as possible. And we felt that by having a fixed strat for phase 3, we would get the reps that made that easy. Okay. In terms of ward soaking, we utilized the reload weakor for phase 2. For phase 3, it was more advisory. In phase 4, we really more assigned people. We said who is soaking the console ward and when, who is soaking the Serena ward and when, who is soaking the middle as we ran across, and then kind of who is soaking the blue ward. It was 3 warlocks to drain it as we went across. After that, it pretty much went through the entire list, give or take, and then it was just soak again when it comes back up. Okay, that's really all there is to it. All right. Don't overanalyze it. We told people to get 6 stacks also this phase. Okay, so Myrmidon is up. Okay, so one thing. So this blue light here, we move this here. This blue light's line of sight of the boss and it's line of sight of the shield when it's broken. Okay. This Myrmidon will throw 2 spears. Okay. This first spear, it's on Dark Elf. He will break this shield. Okay. This is crucially important. All right. You will see videos of this strat where that gets whiffed, and they kind of persevere through it. Possible? Yeah. Desirable? Absolutely not. You need to break that shield so that her energy can reset, and the Drain Ancient Ward is paced properly through the rest of the phase. Okay. Let me show you what I mean by that. Sorry, I have to pull up our log again. One moment, please. So this is what Drain Ancient Ward's supposed to look like, broadly speaking. We actually fucked up a little bit here. Okay. So there should only be this box here, this set here, and then 2, not 4. Okay. Every time the shield breaks, you interrupt her cast. Okay. And while her bubble's up, she'll cast Drain Ancient Ward a set number of times. You can't do anything about that. By making it look basically like this, without that and without that, you create it so that the ward, so that people are charging it, is predictable amount. Just think about it in terms of math terms. She is draining a fixed amount. You are filling with a fixed amount, and Azshara is draining with a fixed amount. Okay, so if you're able to pull after pull, reliably have people soak at the same points, and have these mobs drain at the same rate, that means that you can always go into the last phase with the same amount of ward energy. And that's crucial because this ward here, the third one with our strat, the Venna ward, is going to be the problem ward going into the last phase. Okay, and It's a big reason why guilds wipe. The third ward is always the lowest one, and making hitting these interrupts and breaking the shields in this order helps create conditions for you maximizing the amount of ward energy there is, so you don't get the pressure surge that wipes a lot of guilds. Okay, hopefully you understand kind of the logic snowball here. Okay, so anyway, that ward gets broken. The raid is line of sight at blue, so they don't take damage from the shield break. We get this Myrmidon low, but we don't kill it. Okay. Now this next moment is crucial. All right. The first dispels that this ward go out, the arcane buff. Okay. We dispel the first two, but we let the third expire. If you dispel the third, the people who have beckon could get fucked by it. Okay. So dispel 1, beckon's going out. Dispel 2 is going out. And here comes the spell 3, okay? Except it doesn't come because the beckon people would have got hit. They know what to do. They just get around, and they're out of line of sight, and they're good, all right? So the second spear went out during that. It broke the shield. We kill the Myrmidon, and we do start doing some damage to Venna. Now, let me explain something. This is not a race. You want to get Venna down. You don't want to get her 2 down, okay? At the end of this phase, you need her to be at, like, low, but not, like, you throw a rock and she dies, because you want to be able to be doing damage to Azshara. So if she's too low, as we actually got her too low this pull, you'll see, you rob yourself of boss DPS. Okay, so don't do that. Okay, really shouldn't be popping anything on Venna. Be doing damage to Azshara. Look, people are going around. They're hitting it. Okay, here comes the second ad. Okay, first spear. This first spear will go off before her shield goes back up. Them's the breaks. That's irrelevant. This spear will never break this shield. Okay. Okay. Spear goes out. He's putting shield up now. Okay. So debuffs. You just dispel these. Okay. 1, 2, 3. We're now getting this boss low, and we're waiting for the second spear. Okay. Second spear on Pope. He's gonna break it. That goes off. Shield broken. We kill the Myrmidon. We wait for arcane detonation. We interrupted that drain ward. Okay. People must be draining the ward right now to get this as low as possible. Okay. And we're DPSing Azshara. Now Venna's way too low here. Look at it. She's at 1,000,000 health, and she has that much energy left. That's kind of a fuck up. We actually did better on a lot of pulls, which goes to show you don't need a perfect pull to kill this fight. You want Azshara at about 50%. Or so when you transition. We got like 49. We've done like 46 before. It's honestly almost irrelevant. It's really, like, again, it's not really a burn, not in the sense, but we killed her. Okay, all right. So that's end of phase 3. Phase 4. Okay, now we're gonna talk about phase 4 for a moment here. So our phase 4. So phase 4 movements are fixed for pretty much every guild that does this, except for a couple little details I'm gonna go over. I want to make clear, though, that that guilds, if you watch videos, they're mostly mimicking what they see. They're not thinking about why they're moving it. I can guarantee it, okay? I will point right now to the fact that Azshara, who's RPing, so she's not movable yet, by the way, is tethered to the third ward. Please look at this ward amount, this ward signature right here, okay? So the right rune, the Venna rune, is at 35, okay? A common way to do this fight is to the most common way is to leave Azshara at this ward until the first bait of the nether portal spawns, and then move her. That's a bad play, okay? I'm explain why, all right? And it's incompatible with our strat. We got this fight to 1.8 million health on Thursday, the 26th, because we were kind of doing what everybody else was doing. We didn't think about it, and then we wiped and we thought about it. So when you use the console ward in phase 4, the console device in phase 4. One of the abilities will drain on Mythic 40 energy from one of the runes. Okay, random rune. Okay. So for example, This full console, if it's here at console, it'll take it down to 60. Okay. Right now, just for argument's sake, if it was at this one, it would zero it. Okay. You guilds are basically lusting in phase 4 because they're gambling. Okay. Almost every guild, except for guilds that have like a lot of DPS and think they can make it, do 3 uses of the console in the fight. Okay. Even if they kill it like within 15 seconds of using the console the 3rd time, they still do it. Okay. That's gambling that the ward that's being drained won't be this this 3rd one. Okay. It's very common for this ward to have not enough energy to suffer one of those drains. Okay. While the console ward and the Serena ward, the 2nd ward, have enough to support 2. Okay. Our console, our Serena ward, as you can see, can support 2. Our console ward can support 2. Okay. And right now our what's it called? Our Venna ward can support 0. It's a bad gamble if you're releasing it 3 times. You're almost guaranteed for it to hit it. Okay. So what we do is we move the boss early and then really charge up this rune and keep the boss tethered to console as much in this phase, in order to say, instead of being lucky and have it be like, oh, first time you use the console, it's going to drain Serena ward, then 2nd time console, 3rd time console again. You know, we just got really lucky. Instead, we're going to say we have to be really unlucky. It has to drain the Venna ward twice. Okay, which is not likely at all. Okay. If that happens, them's the breaks. Okay, that sucks. Pull again. This is better than what almost every guild is doing, which is just saying, we hope it doesn't do that. That's not the right approach. Okay. So here. Okay, so she's movable, so she's pulled immediately. As soon as she's attackable, she pulled immediately the console. And that ward gets buffed the fuck up. Please do this. Watch this energy. Look how much this is filling. Look at how much it went up. Okay, that is super fucking safe. Okay. Now this is a phase 4 strat. Everybody gets back here. Okay. We immediately line of sight around the box to drop our stacks, and then we have a paladin pop bubble and start using it. Okay. Okay, 3 hits there for the first one. Divide and conquer. Look at ward energy. So the nice thing about this is all we have to do now is, okay, so relative to other strats, she's draining the console ward sooner, but that's fine because everybody's next to it and we have a ton of people, look here, who can fill it. Better way to do it than just leaving her there for a while and getting that ward lower, huh? Alright. Alright, so here we go. Incoming eye beams. So with this weak ore, which you get from one of the packs out there, the 4th hit, so you know, is the last one. Just that caught us off guard early on. Okay, so 1st beam, 2nd beam, 3rd beam. Oh, Jesus Christ. 4th beam. All right. All right. After those beams go out, the ranged and healers, including the paladins and the monks, need to get into bait position. Okay. Be pretty clear what side the bait's on based on the beam. Okay. You can line of sight here and drop your stacks. Bait, bait, bait. Nether portal. So that for this beacon, bop those 2 nether portal targets. All right. Move back. Drop your stacks immediately. The key thing people need to do here is when you get back to the console, every time you're baiting, every time that you're moving, drop your stacks every time. Just do it, okay? It is the right play. Here's the hit. Okay, we use a mage. He's ice blocking. This is rainbows. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I wanted to just. I actually want to point something out. I actually missed something. I just realized. Okay. So when the boss was when we were baiting, okay, the boss was moved to be tethered to the middle. Okay, this is the only time in the fight she's not in this phase. I should say she's not tethered to the console ward. Okay, at this point she's tethered to the middle ward, and that's fine. Okay, you shouldn't be filling this ward up at all. That doesn't really matter. You don't have to handle that. All right. Okay, and then she's moved back once the beam goes away. You do not wait to move her back for it to go back to Greater Reversal of Fortune. That is a mistake people make, and it's non-obvious. But the thing is that like you're approaching the end of the fight. The the blue wards are barely full. You can drain them if you need to. There's no point in being a purist about keeping this zeroed, considering that your orange ward's like a finite resource and it's the thing that can really wipe you, the pressure surge. Okay, so move her back, and if she gets tethered here and this thing gets a few energy, big fucking deal. Don't worry about it. Okay, move her back immediately. All right. Okay, Rainbow starts doing it. Okay, swap 2. I might have been 3. Okay, one more. 4. There we go. All right. So after that goes off, your raid needs to bait to the other side. Okay? Move them to the other side. I-beams. These I-beams are the signal to start baiting. We fucked that up a bunch of times because we like forgot. We had like mass amnesia. Just like dodge and bait. Bait. Here we go. Another portal 3. Easy stuff. Get back in. Drop your stacks. And it's console time. Okay? So this is the third console. Let me state something clear. If you're I'm sure you'll look through a lot of logs in this, especially like Chinese logs, okay? Because they do strat more, okay? There is no log that at least I know of that does 4 releases of the console, okay? No matter the strat. If you see like a 12-minute log or so, that's because they're doing the longer phase 2 strat, which still gets the crab monster, and then you actually soak with that stuff when it suicides. Nobody does 4. So after this is released, you have a really long time until the ultimate hardened rage point, which is when the next overload explodes, which is really far in the future. Not far enough in the future you need to care about. In fact, in order to just drive this point home, the longest log I've found of any strat comes only within 15 seconds of this going off, okay? Or the next time, okay? So once you're over this hump with the third release here, the fight's effectively in your hand, so long as you don't lose people, so long as there's no little fuck ups like due to I-beam, okay, and pressure surge, okay. Right now, I want to point out what the ward situation is like though. Before we proceed, okay, because it's not doing the drain yet. Let me just make sure it didn't press it. Okay. So here we go. So we have all the wards in a pretty good spot, okay? And let's do it. One, 2, 3, 4. So I want to point out that the one that got drained there was the what's it called? Was the Venna ward, okay? Note where it went. Look where it is. Let me press it. Look where it went, okay? And then went to Divide and Conquer again, okay? That is the strat working right there, okay? That is what I'm trying to say. If we didn't do the fill-up job there, we would have wiped there. Okay, so Great Reversal of Fortune. Do not tether the boss to the middle. You're at the end of the fight. The boss has 32 million health, okay? Keep her tethered to the what's it called? To the console, okay? And just drain the blue, okay? Your energy here, your energy from the normal one, orange one, is very finite right now. If you tether to the middle, when this reversal ends, you might go right into having it be pressure surging. So just keep it here and dodge these incoming I beams like it's the first star of the fight. These I beams will lead into a what's it called, a bait as well. I beam, I beam, I beam. There's a beckon, then there's a bait. This beckon, just grip the person. If they die, whatever, fight's almost over. It doesn't really matter. Beckon. Flag got mind control, we got broken out. Okay, bait. And that's it. Just burn the fucking fight. That's it. So before, we're about to kill it, but let's just take a look at energy, okay? So we have a sliver left at right as planned. We have enough left at left as planned. We're charging up the middle, and we have look at how many people could add stacks. Sorry, we would have a console. Look how many people could add stacks to the console. Okay, we could go further. All right. We kill it when we kill it, but we could have gone a little bit further. We didn't kill it while wiping. Okay. Bit of a tough moment, but we kind of chose it, all right? And that's that. So that's our fight. In summary, we lust in phase 3. We do the same side in phase 3, Serena's side always. We have a fixed position, and we have our immune melee, immune through the Divide and Conquer. And that way we saw a lot of phase 4s. And we only had to learn one strat for phase 3, which kind of helped accelerate our prog considerably. Once we were done, once we did that, we had to go into phase 4, and we only have to go without lust a little bit longer than guilds that do lust, but we have to be more organized about how we handle the energy to avoid pressure surges in the last phase. Okay, and by moving the boss immediately at the start of the phase, and by keeping the boss tethered to the console ward, except for the first dividing, except for the first grid reversal, and then as soon as the boss can be moved back to the blue ward, we were able to accomplish that. And this leads to a situation where we're not gambling on that the console release picks the wrong ward. Okay. But that's the strat. That's it. I really hope this helped you and your guilds. I hope that that you kill this before you nerf it. It's a very hard fight. It's harder than Jaina, I feel. It's more it really tests your raid IQ. It's a lot of nuances. I hope I covered many of them. Certainly not all of them. Very technical. But I really felt I had a lot. Our guild got a lot of satisfaction in killing this one. We not only had a good performance, but we really approached this one very smart, very, very intelligently. And people in this guild pulled this strat from a lot of different places. Like our phase 3 agains from Chinese guilds. Our phase 4s from a guild called Divium. They're a European guild. So I'd encourage everybody in this fight and future fights, just don't look at the top 10 U.S. guilds and their strats. Interesting, informative, yeah, but by the time you're working on it, now let's say, those strats have been through a bunch of hands, and people will have found innovations of their own that will make the fight easier for you, and make it get done quicker, which is the right thing to do. So, hope you have fun. I hope you find a lot of success with it. If your raid leader, if your raid's freaked out about doing the less than phase 3 strat, like just explain to them that phase 4 is not Argus, and you just need to reps and exposure to phase 4 is the way to beat this fight. And certainly if they nerf boss health and add health by 5%, certainly move that lust out of phase 3 and put it in phase 4. Do everything else the same, but put it in phase 4. And this fight is really, really easy in that regard. Once you got all the nuances down, not to, not to overplay it. Okay, but definitely learning one phase 3 strat instead of 2, the way to go, in my opinion. All right. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. My B tag's in the comment, and please check out Tyranny on Bleeding Hollow. Our URL and our videos are all are here too. And I hope that this was informative to you. And good luck raiding. Again, this game needs as many guilds as can killing its content, and Queen Jar is a big boss. So get to it, guys. Good luck.